Hi boys, so today we're going to do perimeter. Perimeter is the total length around the outside of a figure. I learnt something on Millionaire Hot Seat the other day that peri, P-E-R-I, actually means surrounding. So we're looking at the surrounding all the way around the outside of the figure. So in the first one, we're going to find the perimeter of all these shapes. So if you look at this shape here, it's a square. We know it's a square because it's been marked with these equal markings on the side lengths. That tells us the 4 equal sides. It's also got 4 right angles. So we know it's a square. So we've been given a side length of 6 centimetres, but we can go and write 6 centimetres on all the other sides. So get your red pen and put those on. It's really important you do that so you don't leave anything out. So I'm going to write P for perimeter. Now the working is adding up all these sides. So we're going to start at one point and keep going around the shape. 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Work it out and you get 24 centimetres. I know some of you might be used to doing this by multiplying 6 by 4 and it still gives you the same answer, but if you start doing that, you're going to get yourself very mixed up when we do area. So I'd rather you just completely add all the sides for perimeter. Alright, the next shape is a rectangle. It's got a side length of 44, that's our length. And this one over here is our breadth or our width of 25 centimetres. Now we know it's a rectangle because of the 4 right angles, but that also tells us that the opposite sides of a rectangle we know are the same. So we can write that on to be 44, and these opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So we can write this on to be 25. And now we're going to start at one corner and add all our numbers. 44 plus 25 plus 44 plus 25. That way you don't leave anything out. Add them up on your calculator, 138 centimetres. Make sure you put centimetres on the end. This next shape, it's just got the 4 sides given to you. We're just going to add them up and get our answer. This next one has indicated that with 2 equal markings here, these sides are equal. So we're going to get our red pen and go, well, if that's 12, this must be 12, and we're going to write it on that side. Now if we start at one corner, we might start here, go around the shape, 12 plus 12 plus 15, and add them up. Now this is where they become a little bit more difficult and some of you might have a few problems. So watch what I do. We need to add up all the sides on this shape and some of them don't have any numbers. So this is how we're going to do it. If we are looking for that side there, that's a horizontal side. So I want you to get your red pen and go over the other horizontal sides in our shape and then have a look at it. So we're trying to find this side here. If that's 12 all the way from here to here, and this little piece is 3, you can imagine if that collapses down and that collapses down, these 2 pieces actually should add up to this. So to get that piece up there, we're going to start with the 12 and take off the 3 we've already got there. And that will tell us that that side is 9 metres. Now getting the other one, this one's a vertical side. So I'm going to go over all the vertical sides in the shape the same way. And now look at that one. So if we look at just our vertical sides, this is 10 from here to here. This is 3, this bit here. And we're going to find this missing part here. If you slide these pieces across, these 2 bits should add up to 10. So to get this, we're going to start with the 10, take off this 3, and that will leave us with 7 for that side there. So now we're going to add up all our sides. So I'm going to start here in the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to go round the shape like this. So I've got 3 plus, now here's the 7 we just found, plus the 9 we just found, plus, we're up to here now, 3 plus 12 plus 10, and we're back to where we started. So now we just have to add those ones up on our calculator. So get your calculator and start adding these up. And I'm going to try and do it in my head. I think it should end up being 44 metres. All right, this next shape, again, we have missing sides here. We don't know that side. That one I'm hoping you can see should be the same as that side because they are the opposite sides of a rectangle up at the top here. They've been a bit slack in not putting on the right angles, but that will actually happen in exam questions too. So just know that those ones across from each other have to be the same, so that will be a 5. Just write it on with your red pen, anything that we're finding. All right, now this side here, again, we don't know what that side is, but it should be the same as this side. So we're going to write a 7 on that side to be the same as this one. Okay, now we still have a missing side, and it's this one here. We don't know what that is, and that's a horizontal side. So I'm going to go over all the horizontal sides in my shape and have a look at it. So if I get this piece, and this piece, and push them upwards, they will actually should all add up to 12. So to find that one there, I'm going to start with my 12 and take off this 5 and take off this 5, and that will leave me with 2 millimetres for my missing side down there. So now we're going to start up in the top left-hand corner and go round our shape adding these up. So we've got 12 plus 5 plus 5 plus 7 plus 2. For that missing one there, I'll just write it in red so you can see it. Move this down a bit, still adding up. Plus 7 plus 5 plus 5, and you're back to where you started. So now we're just going to add up these numbers. I might get the calculator just to make sure I don't muck this one up. And we end up with 48. And you write millimetres on the end. Don't forget to put the units on. Okay, looking up at numbers at part C up the top here, again it's one of these shapes where we've got missing sides. This time they've told you these are the same, but even if they didn't, you know those two things are the same. Alright, so we've still got a few things to do. This one here should be the same as this, so I'm going to put a 3 there. Okay, now we've still got a few missing things. Oh, actually we've just got one, this one here. So that's a horizontal side. Let's go over the other horizontal ones. Okay, so you can imagine if we get this piece, and this piece and collapse them down to the floor, these 3 bits should all add up to that 10. So for me to find that one there, I'm going to start with the 10. For that, I'm going to take off 2. I'm going to take off 4. And that should leave me with what's left, which is 4 kilometres. All right, now we're going to add them all up around the shape. I'm starting up the top left corner here, and we're going to go around the shape. 4 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 10 along the bottom plus 3 up the side plus 4 we found for that one plus 5, and we're back up to where we started. So really important that you find your missing sides. You start in one spot, go around the shape, continue in the same direction, and you won't leave any out that way. So now we're going to add these up. I'll try and add these up in my head this time. .36 kilometres. And now we're on to a couple of questions that are a bit more testing. Now this next one, it says a rectangle has a perimeter of 30 centimetres. They're not asking you to find the perimeter this time. They're telling you what it is. It's 30. What could its length and width be? Now they've told you the shape is a rectangle. So we should draw the rectangle. There it is. And now we need to think about what could our length and our width or breadth be to make this happen, that we're going to have a perimeter of 30 centimetres. So if you think about it, when we do a perimeter, we're just adding up all these sides. So I've written L for length and W for width. So I'm going to write them on these sides as well. So let's just start with the top left-hand corner and write L plus W plus L plus W, and you're back to where you started. Now they've told you the perimeter has to be 30. So what numbers can make this happen? Well, if you think about it, if I can get L plus W to be one thing, the other L plus W will be the same thing. So this would have to be 15 plus 15 to equal 30. So all I need to do is know that L plus W has to equal 15. So my length plus my width has to equal 15. So this is what we call an open-ended question. There are lots and lots of correct answers. So at the top here, I'm going to just write down what some of them might be. Remember, they need to add to 15. So I might have a length of 10 centimetres and a width of 5 centimetres. They add to 15. Or I might have a length of 14 centimetres and a width of 1 centimetre. They add to 15. I might have a length of 8 centimetres and a width of 7 centimetres. They add to 15. So it can be lots and lots of different correct answers. You only have to give one length and one width to make this right. So you could give this answer, or this one, or this one, or lots of other correct answers. There might be lots of wrong answers too. Just make sure your length and your width add to 15. Alright, now in the last question here, we have a figure, and they've told you it's been made up of a rectangle. So let's put the right angles in for the rectangle so we can see it. And an equilateral triangle. Now an equilateral triangle has equal sides. That's what equilateral means. So it's a triangle with equal sides. So let's go and mark equal sides on that triangle over there. So now we've got a little bit more information of what we know here. We know that that is the same as that. So that's a 10. We can write that on. We also know that this is a 10 because of the equilateral triangle. So now we've got enough information to fill in the rest of it. So if that's 12, the opposite side of the rectangle is 12. And if that's 10, the opposite side of the rectangle is 10. And now we've got enough information to find the perimeter. Now remember, when you find perimeter, it's the total length around the outside of the shape. You are not going to add this dotted line on. It's not around the outside. So we're going to start at the top left-hand corner and do 12 plus 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10 and get the answer of 54 centimetres. It's now time for you to practice yours.